So our first presenters are a group. This is Angela Antuna and Christine Tellez, who were both mentored by Neil Doss, who is part of the Stanford University Radiation and Oncology Department. The title of their presentation is Enhancing Molecular Oxygen Level by Co-Culturing S. elongatus in Hypoxic 3D Cancer Cells / spheroids. Christine, is now a biology major, was previously a nursing major, but now has switched to biology. And I think this internship had a lot to do with that. And Angela is a nursing major. And fun facts are that Angela has the sweetest pit bull you will ever meet. I don't know if sweet and pit bull go in the same sentence, but I'll take your word for it. And Christine has 1 dog and 2 cats. So I will turn it over to them.
Explain the timekeeping system so people all remember.
So just so you know, students who present by themselves have 7 minutes to present, and then we will have time for 1 question after that. So if you have a burning question, we have time for 1 question per student or per group. And we also ask if you have follow-up questions, so please feel free to put them in the chat, and students can respond in the chat beyond the 1 question. So students who present in groups of 2 will have 12 minutes, and students who present in groups of 3 will have 15 minutes.
And just so you all know, if you reach your minute point, I'll just say 10 more seconds, and then after that, it's like you're all done. Okay, so keep track of your all's own time. If you could, I'm also keeping track of my own time. Great.
Hi everybody, I'm Christine and this is my partner Angela. Our project is enhancing molecular oxygen level by co-culturing S. elongatus in hypoxic 3D cancer cell spheroids.
Just put the cursor onto the arrows.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
that'll register.
So by a show of hands, have any of you or anyone you know has been affected by cancer? Might be a sensitive topic, but okay. So with cancer, there are many different types of treatments. These are some of the variants. So some that you may have heard of have surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, and the one that we will be focusing on today will be radiation therapy.
Perfect. So I'll just give you guys a little context with cancer. It's a disease caused by an uncontrolled division of abnormal cells in part of the body. And so our why is cancer research transforms and saves lives. The purpose of our project is to develop safe and effective therapies to treat and ultimately cure cancer. Most patients that get radiation treatments, they're daily, 5 days a week for about 5 to 8 weeks, which is very harmful to the surrounding cells, often with side effects and symptoms developing before and after treatment. Side effects of radiation therapy often include like hair loss, nausea, vomiting, skin and scalp changes, extreme fatigue. So the problem, as you can see, with radiation, it's very harmful. And because these tumors grow in width and in depth, they have a really abundant, like hypoxic core, which means they lack oxygen in the middle. So the rapidly growing malignant tumors frequently encounter hypoxia and nutrient deprivation, which occurs because of the insufficient blood supply. This results in the necrotic cell death in the core region of the solid tumors. So our model, let's see. So how do we reoxygenate the hypoxic tumors using our 3D model? We're using the 3D spheroid model because it closely mimics the tumors. It's heterogeneity, which is diversity in oxygen and nutrient perfusion. It has 3 layers: the proliferation, quiescence, and necrosis zones, resembling the in vivo tumors.
And then this is just an example. If you don't know what cyanobacteria looks like, it's often found in like ponds and things like that, the green algae. Okay, so some of the materials that we use while practicing in the lab includes a microscope, which we often use for counting cells, and then as well as seeing the progression of our cells over time. The next one we used was our incubator, which was used to store our cells and keep them alive as they closely mimic like our human temperature. Also a centrifuge, which was used to separate our liquid solution, which was often media. And then it separates our cells. So once they're out of the centrifuge, there's like a little pellet at the bottom. We also used a X-ray radiation platform here, which was really cool to work with and being able to see it hands-on. So with this, we were able to kind of change the different grades of radiation that we wanted to use on our cells. We also use the laminar flow hood, which basically kept all bacteria that can potentially harm our cells. Not so much harm, but change our results. And it just kept really good airflow. Media, which was used to support the maintenance of cell growth and in vitro, such as maintaining extracellular pH balance, which was essential for doing what we were doing, which was cell culturing. Our 96 cell plates, which we often use to go ahead and put our cells into each one. Also trypsin, which we went ahead and used when we wanted to decolonize our cells. And lastly, cyanobacteria, which was agreed that we used in our experiment. Okay.
So the goal of our project was to introduce the cyanobacteria to the 3D model tumors and hope that paired with radiation, it'll enhance the efficiency of the radiation, leading to less rounds of treatment. Because cyanobacteria has one of the shortest doubling times, it can be bioengineered due to its ability to grow rapidly using sunlight.
So some of our results and conclusions include the hypoxia rate. So as you can see, the brighter the cell means the higher the hypoxia. So after 4 hours, you don't see much change. You can see more so in no cyanos and less light compared to after 12 hours, how you can like really see how much it has affected our cells. And then also cell death estimation. You can't really see it with that kind of background, but over time, cell death did take place, majority of the time in more light. And then the condition of it was that full spectrum of light was passed just 2 hours before the radiation. And then another testing that we did was the clonogenic assay, which we used dye. So after running our experiment, we went ahead and inserted we took out all the media, which left the cells behind. And then in order to see those cells, we went ahead and added dye, let it sit over for a while, and then rinse them out. And this was the results. So as you can see, the more that it shows without radiation means that it wasn't successful, compared to the less amount of cells at the bottom there with radiation was more successful. And in that, with cyanos and with light was the most successful out of all of them. On to our reflections and learnings. So this was an amazing opportunity for the both of us, our first internship, and we were able to learn a lot of new skills, gain a new friendship with each other, as well as Neil, also taking place in the practice lab. So do you have anything you want to?
Yeah, I think it just gave me like a huge amount of confidence in my skills and in my future career aspirations. I learned a lot from my mentor about like the PhD process and that You don't necessarily have to start out with like knowing where you're going to go or how you're going to do it, or, you know, if you have the adequate financial situation. It's just the will to do it. So yeah.
And then to our acknowledgements and thank yous, of course. Oh, I don't know where that came first. I'll just play them all. It was in a different order. First and foremost, we want to go ahead and thank Marissa and Sophia for having this internship available to those who have never had an internship nor thought that it would be possible. I know for myself, like me being in an internship, I was like, no way, like that will never be something that I'll be able to accomplish. But they really made that possible for not only me, but Christine as well.
And the support and the hard work that you guys did with all the trainings and the different guest speakers that you guys brought on. You really showed that you care about us, and we see it.
And then, of course, Mr. Neil, we want to thank him for taking us under his wing and showing us the ropes of what it takes to really be in the lab, you know. And for somebody, we had major imposter syndrome coming into this, you know, going to Stanford, being along those with PhDs and professors and all that, but he really made the process so much easier, and that it's okay to make mistakes. So
yeah, that it's okay to make mistakes is a huge one.
yeah.
So thank you, Neil.
Yes. Of course, Yem, who is the head of the Prax Lab, for also allowing us to come into his lab and work alongside with others. We also had Manny. If Manny's on here, you were there too. And then, of course, the Prax Lab associates. They were just so friendly and welcoming to us, and really made our process easier. So thank you to all of you.